Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Maine podcast. I'll be your host today, Dre Daly. We have a very special guest with us. It's one of our friends from Minneapolis. This person is a member of the troupe Fierce, who performs the drag shows at the Maine here in Superior. So, without further ado, the original Eve, if you would come on out and join us.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
We would like to ask you a few questions about drag. And we're going to ask some questions, and there might be some words used that some people might find slightly offensive. We don't do that intentionally. We don't want to offend anybody. We just want to have an honest conversation, and yeah. So, first of all, how long have you been doing drag?
Me, I have been doing drag for about a year and 3 months.
Okay. And what got you into drag?
Well, I always had a joy and love for being on stage. I initially went to school for dance, and then I was like, well, I can't sing, and I want to be a superstar. And so, as looking at it, I wanted to really get involved in my local gay scene, essentially, because I felt very disconnected from it. I had moved from a small town, didn't know what else to do with my life.
Can we ask where you moved from?
I moved from a town called Pipestone, Minnesota. It is about 4,000 people, a small farmers community with a large Native American history. And so I was like, I want to try it. I want to go for it. You know, I started probably like a lot of people my age, where I was watching RuPaul's Drag Race, essentially, and I was like, wow, that's so cool, it's so wicked. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I want to do that. And that's what I'm going to find out later. It's a lot of hard work. It's a whole lot of work.
Did you go to school for makeup?
No.
Okay.
No, when I was like 4 or 5, my sisters always did my makeup, and I'd run around in their heels, actually. And so I was like, training. I didn't even know. I was training, and I didn't even know beforehand that this is what I wanted to do. And afterwards, I was like, go big. Go big. You're going to be crazy, you're going to be wild, and you can be whatever you want to be. So, because there's a big word and like kind of a phrase that people use where it's like, be the fantasy, become the fantasy. And it's like, well, be the crowd's fantasy, be my fantasy. So I was like, I'm going to become my own fantasy.
There you go. Can you explain to some of our viewers, is there a difference between the trans community and the drag community?
Being a drag queen and being trans is very different. But there are so many beautiful, fantastic performers, kings and queens, who are trans. And we, honor them, we love them, because they have always been the ones who paved the way. They've always been the hardest workers.
Embraced into our community. I mean, Stonewall.
Exactly. Starting with like a lot of the history of that is that there's always been a trans person walking behind, pushing, and doing all the hard work. And we could be thankful and also going to march alongside them, because I kind of believe that this is 100% true for everything, but drag queens do a lot of work for the community. We want to. Mm-hmm. We do charities all the time. We want to be able to donate, even if it's $50 to like $5,000, whatever we can do, because we genuinely want to help. And that just being part of like also the trans community and being able to speak with them and walk alongside them and do the work that they've always been doing.
Right. And then do you find, are there straight folks that also participate in the drag community?
Yes. It is a little more rare as far as I have found. I'm seeing that often if there's someone who's interested, they might not want to talk about it. They might not bring it up. It's harder for for anyone who is straight to really find themselves enveloped and want to actually go out there, because a lot of people use words like cross-dresser or tranny still. Mm-hmm. And those aren't accurate. If you want to be a drag queen or a drag king and you're straight, I would welcome it. Some people might not, but I think we are allowed to kind of blur the line.
Well, talent is talent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not about sexuality. It's
very
about
true.
Art.
It's about art and dancing and obviously makeup and costume. Do you do your own costume design?
I get a mix of it from. I get a mix of my stuff from thrift stores, very honestly. I also shop online, try to find unique pieces, and then I found that bigger queens, people that I look up to, they kind of push like, even though you're shopping online, you can buy costumes, there's no shame in it, but try learning something. Be able to sew something, be able to make jewelry,
Sure.
find like your niche in there, and like really try to get into your art. And so I'm learning to sew right now alongside my sisters, and
Nice.
hopefully maybe some pieces in the future that'll be 100% me.
That's excellent. That's really cool. You are going to be performing for the WEareSuperior Pride Festival in actually 2 different capacities. You'll be performing with Fierce for the traditional drag queen fundraiser show. And then you'll also be performing here at the Main for well, they're both at the Main, but for the Sunday Fun Day Spectacular, which is a choreographed number that you'll be doing. And how is that going? Is that going fun? Is it something different than you normally do? Is it kind of in the same vein?
Well, it's different from what I normally do in drag because when I go into drag, sometimes I'll practice a number to feel out the music, kind of get in the motion. That's usually how I pick stuff. But doing something that's actually choreographed again kind of brings me back to roots of school when I was being taught how to choreograph and how to be able to put artwork into actual steps instead of just, going out there, my heart's racing and I'm just like, do a kick, do something, go fast. And I love it. It's kind of grounding for me, and
Good.
I am very excited about this project. I'm very thankful.
Rain's glad to have you, man. Are you coming to the parade?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it all right if we tell people to come up and say hello to you while you're here?
Oh my gosh, I would be honored. I would absolutely love it because when there's a second of being like recognized for like artwork or even just being like, I go out into the street if I'm in drag, knowing that I'm gonna look a little different. If someone comes up to me and they're like, "Can I get a hug? What's your name? Nice to meet you. You look gorgeous." I'm flattered, I'm stunned, and it humbles me because I think it's gorgeous. Like, come on, I did all this work. Let's party. Let's have a good time.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Once again, we are with the original Eve, a member of Fierce, who will be performing for the drag shows here as you are a cast member, correct?
Yes, newly.
She is a newly cast member of Fierce who performs the drag shows here at the Main in Superior. And be sure you come out and see her on September 2nd, again in 2 capacities. She'll be performing during the day at the Sunday Fun Day Spectacular and also as part of the traditional drag show fundraiser. Thank you so much for joining us, Eva. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and hopefully we'll see you guys out there. Remember, don't drink and drive. If you're going to go out and party, be safe, don't be stupid. Thanks a lot for joining us. I'm Dre Daly with the Main Podcast.